What is the best way to plant bulbs? Well, by the end of this video, hopefully we'll know the answer to that question. I've got different tools that I'm going to try out today. We've got the long-handled bulb planter, we've got the traditional short-handled one, we've got a type of knife, and we've also got augers, which I'm very excited to try. Let's give these a whirl and see what we reckon. First, we'll try this with the Fritillaria rubra. I've had one of these before, but it had a little button that you press, so I don't know how easy it will be for these to release the soil afterwards. Straight in. Yeah, I think we all know how these work. So, I know some people use trowels, but I'd use at least this, unless you're doing like snowdrops or crocuses where they're smaller. I think you get a good sized hole to put whichever bulb you want in it. So I've just read the back of that packet which says 6 inches, which is a problem straight away because the bulb planter is only 4 inches, whereas this will be able to go 6 inches straight away. Oh my word! I don't think I'm using this right, am I? Go on. Right, this is just making notes. Is it because I bought a cheap one off of? Right, well, first impressions of that is, I don't know, not great. The proof probably will be when further down the line, won't it? When they either grow or don't grow. But that's just made a massive mess now. Soil's just gone everywhere. Now you won't probably be able to see, but there's wood chip here. So obviously it's just thrown the soil everywhere. My hands were clean after that first one, because I've just got into a right mess already after planting one bulb. I'm sure it'll be better if I use it right. Like, so I know a lot of people use the Hori knives that are a little bit wider, and I just thought, when I looked at this, I thought this would be mint for crocuses, snowdrops and stuff like this, and I'm already finding that it's just not really going to do. Like, you can't get older things as much as with an actual just bulb planter. I suspect, whether it's because my soil's quite good here, I've inherited good soil, and so like when I use the auger and this, it just doesn't keep the soil. The soil just goes everywhere. So I think for these, the time being, I'm going to carry on with the bulb planters. Gently, easy does it. Right. Let's go in there like that. Oh, it's like sword in the stone. I can't get it out. That wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. Let's double team it. Whoa, that's lovely. That is bang on. Because you can go higher. So that's 4 inches. You can go higher straight away. Whereas I don't know if you can see me with that little handled one. I had to go a little bit, bring it out, and then go lower. With that, just sort of brings up more. So for these, I need to go down 6 inches. The one I used last year, it had a button that you just press and then it released the soil, and it was great, but it just didn't last very long. It broke very quick, and it made the actual tool a lot more delicate and not as long lasting. So this is why this year I just went with this. It's a bit messier because you haven't got the button, but at least it will last. These have to go 8 inches down apparently. So what I'm finding really good with these larger ones is actually going with the long handled, because I know that's about 4 inches, and then after that going with this is narrower than this, and so what is happening is the actual bulb can't go all the way to the bottom of the hole because it's actually bigger than this. First impressions with this is it is really good. I'm really enjoying using this. I'm really enjoying using the ball planter that I've used in other years. Now what I said is that to myself, not to you guys, is that every packet of bulbs I plant, because I've got so many to plant, I give myself chocolate every time, so that's another packet down. Let's go. So I suspect this is where the knife is really going to come into its own. I've got snowdrops for this shady area, and now there's no point in doing a girthy hole for these little snowdrops that only need to go 2 inches down. Oh. And as you can see, it is just tearing through it, and a really easy method to get loads of the smaller bulbs in. So I reckon I'll use this for crocuses as well, and the snakehead fritillaries. So I've just planted 45 snowdrop bulbs in absolutely no time. So this is really good for the smaller bulbs, so you're not having to take loads of soil up, put the bulb in, put it back down, literally bam, drop it in, and job's a good one. Yes guys, so it's the next day after a lot of bulb planting, and I thought I'd tell you how I found the tools, what I like, what I dislike. So I knew what I was getting with this. Last year I said to you I had one of these where you press the button. Now the one with the button, I found it started to break. Now I don't know if that's because I was too heavy-handed, problem with the mechanism that it makes the actual tool weaker, because it started to bow out where obviously the one bit goes into the other bit. I found this absolutely amazing for actually getting it in, but at times when I've got the deeper bulbs, what I was doing is I was going in with this, and then I was going into that with this, and I got quite a good little technique going using both of these together for some of the bigger alliums that needed to go sort of like 6 to 8 inches into the ground. So that worked really well. I thought this was top, really good, and I thought this was really good as well. But obviously I knew what I was going to get with this. You get a hole that's a good size to plant your bulb, and I think that's where I struggle with a trowel, which I know a lot of people use. I find that like when I'm digging it, I can't get the sort of right sized hole for it, and because I'm planting maybe close, or I'm trying not to disturb other bulbs that are in the ground, I just find that this was a lot better. Now, the auger, I did not get on with whatsoever. Now, I don't know whether it's because my soil was a lot finer. The soil just seemed to just go everywhere. It just created a mess. And then from there, you'd get so far down with the auger, and then it would just stop and it wouldn't be able to sort of go through. Now, my drill was fully charged. This drill's always done me good for everything I've used it for. I went to get the impact driver, but the tool didn't actually fit into the impact driver. So I was really disappointed with this. I don't know whether it was because of the way I was using it or whether this is a really bad one and I should actually send it back. As it stands, I wouldn't recommend an auger, even though so many people have told me how good they are. So if you love them, tell me maybe what I was doing wrong or how I may have been using it wrong, or is this one that I've got a bad one? It says Work Pro, it was just one off Amazon that came in a 2-pack. The other one I've not even used. Now, the final tool. This, like I know a lot of people use Hori knives, and I know this, strictly speaking, is a lot smaller. I've got stone stuck there. This was incredible. Like honestly, I absolutely loved this. I planted so many of the smaller bulbs with this. You can just sort of go as far down as you want, pull it this way, plop the bulb in, and it's just so quick. Like, so I'll get the crocuses and I'll do sort of like 30 bulbs in say 5 minutes. If you're obviously using something like this for that, then obviously you're having to take a lot of soil up for each bulb each time, and it's just very sort of time consuming. So I'm a massive fan of this, and I will be using this very much going forward. In conclusion, after trying these tools, I'm definitely going to be carrying on using this. I'm definitely going to be carrying on using this. I'm definitely going to be carrying on using this. I think there's different bulbs benefit from different tools, and I know that's such a sort of sit on the fence answer, but it's what I was expecting, because there's a reason why so many gardeners sort of love each tool. The auger, I'm sorry, but at the moment it is a no from me. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know which is your favourite and which you love to plant your bulbs with. And I've got more bulbs to plant. So I'm going to have to get going and get cracking. So I will catch you in a bit.